there. Oh, there he is. Right there.
Boxing fans, we're ready and set to go here on the 8-count boxing hour. There's the bell for round one. Dan Cisneros at ringside. You're watching the 8-count boxing hour, and right now you're looking at a man who is a real novelty in the world of boxing, the unbeaten Butterbean. That's 330 pounds. Eric Butterbean Esch in the Stars and Bars trunks. His opponent from Juarez, Mexico, Ramon the Monster El Monstro Perez. This bout's scheduled for 4. We're just underway now. And Eric Butterbean Esch goes to work with that big right hand. Of course, Eric Esch is the legendary tough man, two-time national tough man champion, multi-regional champion and runner-up. 330 pounds of tough man in the ring there in the American flag trunks. And there you see him missing now with a combination against Ramon Perez. Boxing coming to you here from Tingley Coliseum. Eric Butterbean Esch, 3-0 as a professional. Oh, and Butterbean was thinking about that uppercut, but he did not let it go. Eric Butterbean Esch being handled and trained by former world champion Murray Sutherland. The much talked about Eric Butterbean Esch. He's very popular in the boxing circuit. Just coming up now, 3-0, but I think you'll be hearing quite a bit about him as time goes on. He definitely not built like your stereotype boxer. A big round mound of rebound, Charles Barkley, but this is well, he's definitely round. And coming into this fight at 330 pounds. He's got about a 110-pound, 120-pound edge over his opponent, Ramon Perez. And you see Butterbean Esch now putting the pressure on Perez. Ramon Perez now trying to box on the outside. Ramon Perez, definitely what you'd call a journeyman. We've seen him in action against Lorenzo Nielsen, Jimmy Thunder, Derek Edwards, Mike Conley, all those fights on the 8-count boxing hour. And, well, he lost all of them. So we'll see what he can do here against Jasper, Alabama's Eric Butterbean Esch, originally from Alabama, but now fighting out of Bay City, Michigan. You're watching professional boxing here on Community Cable Channel 27 in Albuquerque, the 8-count boxing hour, bringing you the boxing action of the Duke City. And there's a good little trade-off as Perez tries to right and Butterbean counters. And you can see Eric Butterbean Esch very patient. They call him the potential king of the 4-rounders. And I don't know, he's been talking about fighting Tyson and all these guys. I think he better settle down, worry about Ramon Perez for now. We'll be back. And right now you're looking into the corner of Ramon El Monstro Perez. His record was announced at 6-3, but I'm sure that's not a legitimate record. Because, well, he's lost at least 3 fights right here on the 8-count boxing hour. So, that record unconfirmed, but he's the opponent here for Eric Butterbean Esch. Eric Esch was a real powerhouse in the tough man, and he says that tough man pace is what wins him fights. He just goes in there with that non-stop aggression, throws a lot of punches, and for a man that heavy, he has a decent stamina for the first couple of rounds anyway. I don't know what would happen to him if he was forced to go 10 rounds against a top-notch opponent, but so far I have him winning that first round with just with sheer pressure here against Ramon El Monstro Perez. So round 2 is underway now. Ramon Perez in the black trunks with the green trim, and he lands a shot on the Butterbean. Butterbean didn't like that too much, and he comes in now boring in with shots. You can see Butterbean likes to throw a lot of those wide looping punches, a lot of seemingly arm punching. Boy, I hate to see him get his weight into a punch. And Ramon Perez sticks a right hand in there on the Butterbean. But and a left hand now coming out of the crouch. Ramon Perez, El Monstro, came here to fight. The Butterbean doesn't look too happy, but he's staying calm, cool. There's a left hand again from Ramon Perez. So the Butterbean might have to tune up his defense a little bit, as Ramon Perez getting pretty offensive with him, landing a lot of good shots here to start the second round. The referee is the legendary Elias Nefi Quintana. Referee Quintana has judged or reffed in over 20 world title fights. Definitely the cream of the crop of the New Mexico officials. And right now, both men trading, and down goes Ramon Perez. A grazing shot. He was kind of off balance, but let's see if the referee's going to rule that a knockdown. Okay, referee Quintana is counting. So that is a knockdown scored by the Butterbean, Eric Esch, as the two were trading, and Perez looked like he might have got knocked off balance, but then again, it was a punch that put him down, so it will count as a knockdown against Ramon Perez. And now the Butterbean comes back with a right hand, and he follows it with a left hand. Again, Eric Esch with those wide sweeping hooks, and you would think those would be all arm punches, but he is renowned for his power, so I guess somehow he gets his power into it. Of course, each arm probably weighs 80 pounds. And now the Butterbean just walking with his hands down, and Ramon Perez doing a little dancing here. A little of that Juarez shuffle. And now he's waving his right hand, and that ends. No, that wasn't the bell. Okay, the action continues, and Butterbean just, well, I guess you'd call it stalking his opponent. And Ramon Perez getting pretty cocky here, pretty confident. Ooh, and Butterbean misses with that right hand. You could feel the wind from that one here at ringside. Again, Butterbean goes over the top, a little bit high with that right hand. Eric Butterbean Esch, the talk of the boxing world right now. A lot of people consider him nothing more than a novelty, and there's a few, though, that really believe in the Butterbean. The man has his own cult following in the Midwest. And the Butterbean now comes back and lands on the shoulder of Perez. Ramon Perez now tries to get out of trouble and moves out to his left. The boxer's now right on top of us. Big Butterbean going to work now on Ramon Perez. And there he goes after Pettis. He wants to finish him at the bell. Looking into the corner of Butterbean Esch. That's former world champion Murray Sutherland working the corner for Mr. Butterbean. He says he got his nickname Butterbean by, at one time for a tough man fight, he had to go on a diet. He wanted to get into top shape, so there was a weight limit in one of the tough man regionals he was involved in. So he had to lose weight, and he went on a Butterbean diet, and so the nickname Butterbean kind of stuck with him. And that's where you get the name, Eric Butterbean Esch. But whether you think he's a novelty or a legitimate contender, you have to admit he's a lot of fun to watch. Kind of like that King Kong Bundy look. And there you're looking at Ramon El Monstro Perez. Ramon's got a little bit of a hole to dig his way out of now. We're into the third round here, scheduled for 4, so we're halfway there, and Perez has been down once. Again, boxing coming to you from Tingley Coliseum here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Dan Cisneros at ringside, and you're watching the 8-count boxing hour here on Community Cable Channel 27, only in Albuquerque. And again, Butterbean launching his punches and coming forward. You can imagine when he puts that weight on you and you see him just driving Ramon Perez back into the corner there, but referee Nefi Quintana separates the two as Perez smartly holds on. And Ramon Perez now working from the outside with that left hand, and there's a shot to the head of Butterbean, and a right hand lands. And Butterbean tries that counter but misses. Boy, he's missed quite a few of those big right hands, and you have to think if any of those were to land, this fight could be over by now. But Ramon Perez now continuing to stay on the outside. I think he prefers that. Of course, if he's going to muscle on the inside with a 330-pound tank, probably not a good game plan for Mr. Ramon Perez. Now Butterbean tries a couple of... Oh, and he lands some good combinations here. Oh, another one on the head of Perez. Ramon Perez taking those shots. As the Butterbean missed with a few shots and came back and landed, though, with a good combination to the head. Again, Ramon Perez backs up into the ropes and covers up. Ramon Perez has done a good job when he's on the outside, sticking and moving. But every time he stops, Butterbean just jumps right on him. Eric, the Butterbean Esch here in Albuquerque. And there's a body shot now, right hand of the body by the Butterbean. Big bad ball Butterbean. Pushing on, getting a little rough there with Ramon Perez, and he didn't like that. Neither did the crowd. The crowd did not appreciate the tactics, a little roughhousing on the part of the big Butterbean. And Ramon Perez now, conventional boxing from the outside. And you know, Ramon Perez has been throwing the straighter punches, but he really is not a power puncher. Kind of slapping at Butterbean, knocking the spray off the head of Butterbean. While Butterbean Esch throwing those wide sweeping hooks, but when he gets on the inside, he's pretty effective. Now you see Butterbean trying a jab. Eric Butterbean Esch been talking some mess here at ringside before this fight, telling me that he really, really wants to fight Mike Tyson. And I'm not sure Butterbean knows what he's talking about, but he seems real confident. And he said that if they'll just give him a chance, that Mr. Tyson would be in danger for the first 3 or 4 rounds, and after that, you know, Butterbean said he would be stepping into unknown territory. But that's what fights like these are all about. And, well, we'll see what happens. But for now, anyway, I got him winning against Ramon Perez, and that's a start. I think a better fight would be Butterbean Esch and Peter McNeely, the man that Tyson fought, and that'd be pretty interesting. I'd like to see who can come out on top. The end of round 3. So we're between rounds 3 and 4, the final round coming up. Eric Butterbean Esch winning this fight, in the lead on points in this fight, and I'm sure he'd prefer a knockout. But Ramon Perez doing a good job of staying on his feet and keeping this fight lively. He's not folding up his tent and going home, and so we got to give Ramon Perez credit. He is in there fighting, and I think he's doing a pretty good job so far against the 120-pound heavier Butterbean. It's got to be a tough assignment for Mr. Ramon Perez. But then again, Ramon Perez seems to have maybe a little bit of an edge in hand speed. So he's boxing pretty nicely, and he's doing a pretty good job here against big Eric Butterbean Esch. Round 4 underway now, coming to you from Tingley Coliseum. Eric, the Butterbean Esch in the Stars and Bars. His opponent, Ramon, the Monster Perez, in the black trunks with the green trim. We're in the 4th and final round now. Oh, and Eric Butterbean Esch tries to do a little fake job on Ramon Perez and get in there and score, but... And now Butterbean hammering. Ramon Perez tried to grab him, and I think he couldn't get his arms around him. And the Butterbean goes to work here. Oh, punches coming from both sides now. And you see Butterbean just wailing on this man. And Ramon Perez now complains to referee Nefi Quintana. And boy, the Butterbean was going for the knockout there as he was just banging on his opponent. Oh, a right hand from Butterbean, but Ramon Perez complaining about a kidney punch. He's not too happy about it. And Butterbean comes back with that big right hand again. He throws that big wind-up right hand. And now Ramon Perez, look at him. Thinks he's Sugar Ray. Oh, Sugar Ray Perez now doing that shuffle. Putting his hands down, doing a little dancing on the Butterbean, making the big man mad. Oh, and Perez comes back with a combination now. Ooh, and the Butterbean lands a right hand, though, to finish it off. Ramon Perez complaining about something, but here he goes again dancing now. Oh, look at Ramon Perez now putting the moves on Butterbean. And Mr. Butterbean's a little bit hesitant about, he's not sure what he's got in front of him here. Look at Butterbean Esch. Oh, and this is where Perez should not be. He bends down, he's sitting on the ropes, and Butterbean just hammers on his body. And really that's a disadvantage because Big Eric Esch can just put his weight on the man and just go to work. I think Ramon needs to get out of that situation, and now Nefi Quintana, the referee, comes in and breaks the two and calls for action here. Oh, a right hand sneaks in from Ramon Perez. And the Butterbean tries to go to the body now, and Ramon Perez just moves away. So it looks to me that the Achilles heel on the part of Butterbean Esch might be movement. Pretty good movement, might give him a lot of trouble. As long as you stay out of the corners and off the ropes, you might have a shot with this big man, but boy, don't let him get you on the ropes. And there we go again. And Nefi Quintana now separates the two. 330-pound Eric Esch. And his wins coming against Tim Daniels. That was a win in 4 rounds. And then he scored a 4-round knockout over Doug Norris, that fight in Louisiana. First fight was in Alabama. Then he fought Eddie Berry in Michigan. He won a 6-round decision there. And right now you're looking at his fight against Ramon El Monstro Perez. With time running out now, Ramon Perez seems to be in the survival mode, and there's the bell to end the fight. Big Butterbean Eric Esch and Ramon Perez. How'd you like it? So the judges are going to tally up the scorecards, and we're going to find out who won. I've got Butterbean Esch winning this fight. And we'll see how the judges see it. I've got it about 39-36. Big Eric Butterbean Esch here to start things off on the 8-count boxing hour. There you see Murray Sutherland now wiping down the back of his big prize fighter. That's the big heavyweight.
All judges seem the same way. 39-36. Out of the blue corner, takes professional record 4-0. Eric Butterbean
So Eric Butterbean Esch gets the win over Ramon Perez, but look at Ramon Perez. He's just celebrating, ending the fight on his feet, and, well, pretty good job for Ramon Perez, too, here on the 8-count boxing hour. But the win for Butterbean, Eric Esch.
What's up, Albuquerque, New Mexico? This is Jeremy Williams, future heavyweight champion of the world. Keep watching the 8-count boxing show here only in